I
got two in it.
Bank 3C notes, bank 3C notes.
Gotta see.
Alright, get it going on. Big six, hit him down.
What's that? Tracy.
Stakes is high. You know them stakes is high when you talking about stakes is high. You know them stakes is high when you talking about stakes is high. You know them stakes is high. With instamatic focal point bringing damage to your burrow. Be some brothers from the east with the beats that be thorough. Got the solar gravitation, so I'm bound to pull it. I gets down like brothers are found, ducking from bullets. Gun control means using both hands in my land, where it's all about the cautious living. Migrating to a higher form of consequence. Compliments are struggling, that shouldn't be notable. Man, every word I say should be a hip-hop quote. I'm sick of bitches shaking asses. I'm sick of talking about blood, sick of Versace glasses, sick of slang, sick of half-assed.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of my hip-hop culture video blog. Today, we're going to talk about the essence of 90s hip-hop. We're going to go over all the albums, the landmark albums from The Chronic to Ready to Die to Me Against the World. We're going to hit it all. I'm just kind of, you guys are going to come on a journey with me, so let's get ready.
I think we maybe sold out of that Biggie one as well.
No. Yeah, because I like I said, I only saw the single. Alright, what's up? So, first album I'm gonna talk to you guys about today is Nas's debut album, Illmatic. Came out in 1994. Nas was 21 years old. This is his debut album, and it was acclaimed, critically acclaimed album. The World Is Yours, New York State of Mind, and The Genesis were the most popular from this album. As you can see here, this is him as a kid. This isn't actually a picture of him. There was actually a problem because Biggie's album, Ready to Die, which has Biggie as a baby on the front cover, and there was a beef that happened between them over the album cover that was started because the albums came out around the same time. So, and this was actually, it was a slow start for Nas. This is still regarded as one of his most important albums in his entire career. This album's been talked about and been on many hundred top 10 lists of the greatest hip-hop albums. Really great listen, production solid, DJ Premier is one of the most notable producers on here. AZ is one of the many features on here, one of Nas's big persons that he runs with. And yeah, so this is Nas's Illmatic, 1994. Next, we're going to talk about Tupac's All Eyes on Me. This is Tupac's Death Row debut album. It's a double disc. It is one of the first double discs album in hip-hop to go 5 times platinum. This album was created right after Tupac got out of jail. This is regarded as one of his best albums. Me personally, I believe Me Against the World, which was released a few years prior to this album, is actually one of my favorite albums. The top singles from this album is How Do You Want It, featuring Casey and JoJo, To America's Most Wanted, featuring Snoop Dogg, and the other one is Only God Can Judge Me. And this album cemented Tupac as West Coast's #1 artist at the time. He was the flagship artist of Death Row Records, and this album just filled up everybody's CD player across the board in 1996 when this album was released. So yeah, this is Tupac All Eyes on Me, double disc, 5 times platinum, regarded as one of his best works since his entire career. This was when Tupac was filming plenty of movies. He was, doing Juice. He was doing Gridlock. He was doing Poetic Justice, all while putting this album together. Also, there's a lot of subliminal disses towards Notorious B.I.G. and the Bad Boy Camp due to the falling out that they had prior to the making of this album. There's a lot of subtle jabs against Diddy and many of other cohorts. We also have Snoop Dogg on this album heavily. We have plenty of everyone from Spice One to everyone pretty much out of the West Coast belongs on. Dr. Dre has California Love is also #1 on here with Dr. Dre, which was probably one of his first videos since being released from prison. And so yeah, this is Tupac, All Eyes on Me. Next album I'm going to sit here and talk about is Dr. Dre's The Chronic. This album came out in 1992. Dr. Dre is also part of the Def Jam record label camp, along with Tupac and Snoop Dogg. This album is probably one of the most important albums in hip-hop culture, just because this album came out right around the LA riots time. Right after Rodney King's beating, this album basically was the soundtrack to that entire time. 92, like early to late 92. Dr. Dre had pretty much everybody he could find from the West Coast to be on this album. This is also the premiere of Snoop Dogg. This is when Snoop Dogg first came out on the scene, and he was introduced to the world on this album. This album also was highly influenced by the G-Funk sound, as it is known. Dr. Dre basically coined the whole term of G-Funk and G-sounding, and just very relaxed. And with also, who else was on here? Nate Dogg was also another prime person on this album. He did most of the hooks and the choruses, and just made it a very soulful, chill album. So Dr. Dre's The Chronic, one of Dr. Dre's best albums. He hasn't really put out much of any body of work in quite some time. He's mostly known as a producer, but this is probably one of his best from beginning to end. Alright, now we are here talking about A Tribe Called Quest final album, The Love Movement. This album was released in 1998. By this time, Tribe Called Quest was having quite a bit of internal drama. They were having a lot of issues about money. One of the members, Phife Dawg, was very sick at this time. He was not around for a lot of the recording of this album. A lot of them just could not stand each other at all. And so this album was almost never made. The two singles from this album is Find a Way and It's Like That, and the Scenario remix featuring Busta Rhymes. So by this time, Tribe Called Quest was pretty grown. They started as children. Well, not really children. They were more like early teens, 17, 18, 19 when they first started. And by this time, they're about 30 years old by this time, and they were just kind of done. They were done with the industry. They were done with each other, and they were just ready. So they just pretty much put this Love Movement album together, and that was a wrap on the group. They really didn't like this album that much. They didn't think it was all that great, but people still flocked to it because it was their final album. Very soulful album. Talked a lot about relationships, breakups, and the good, the bad, and so forth. And The Love Movement. And most of the production was handled by Q-Tip himself. He was a producer, and The Love Movement, 1998, great album. They were done. This was it. So yeah.